Now, all the big miners had production figures out this week. They were pretty good, but I mean, apart from a bit of a spurt among energy investors towards the end of the week, it was the miners have been really on the nose in the market. I guess it's just the move away from cyclical stocks towards defensive stocks like banks. We've got a graph of the banks and the resources stocks over the past 12 months or so. It's an incredible difference.
It's price-driven, Alan. If you look at the commodity prices, they're down since the start of the year about 30% on average, whether it's iron ore or coal. And fundamentally, that's what's happened to the share prices. So, as the prices come down, people looked and said, well, the super cycle's over, the super profits are over. It's now a volume game. China's softening in the recent months hasn't helped. So people are a bit less certain about how solid the demand's going to be over the next little while. So I think that's there's been this fundamental structural shift in that market for commodities, and the share prices reflect that.
But then the share prices have reflected, of the banks and other defensives like Telstra, has reflected the desire for yield among investors.
Yeah, Telstra's just shot the lights out, hasn't it? That's
incredible, that's right. And despite that, we've seen Commonwealth announce a pay freeze this week, which was interesting, wasn't it? I mean, there's pay freezes breaking out all over, in fact, aren't there?
Well, AGM season's getting closer, isn't
is that what it is?
Let's just see whether they're real pay freezes. Well, CBA did one in, I think, 2008 with the previous CEO, and he took a 10% pay cut. But when Gail Kelly took her pay freeze in 2008, when they re-looked at it again in 2010, I think it was, she got a 15% base pay rise. So she had make-up pay. So it could be a nice trick. Let's hope CBA actually stay with the spirit of it.
Yeah, well, you've got to look at the total as well. They might get a frozen base pay, but
it's coming off a pretty high level.
Bit of an increase in STI.
If all the senior executives, the top several hundred senior executives, freeze their base pay, presumably that has an impact on costs and therefore has an impact on their incentives.
Yeah, so
that's right.
They get a high bonus.
Yes. So Commonwealth's efforts to change the image of banking was undermined a bit by this week's revelation that HSBC is the bank of choice for Mexican drug cartels. So we've got a bit of footage of some Mexican customers turning up to a HSBC branch before it closed. Apparently that customer was a bit unhappy about the LIBOR rigging scandal, which HSBC hasn't, I hasten to add, been...
They were named this week.
They were named this week.
As one of the 4 banks thought to have an issue. In fact, there are 20 banks thought to have an issue, but these 4 are supposed to be the most prominent. The LIBOR scandal is far worse than the pushing drug money around and terrorist money around. There's something like $500 trillion US of derivatives out there based on LIBOR, and the potential for action against those banks is horrendous.
Yeah, I agree. I think it could wipe out a lot of shareholders' equity in banks if those class actions are successful, because they've ripped off their customers, they've been acknowledged. It's an open and shut case.
Yeah, they've actually pleaded guilty already, haven't they?
Yeah, they have.
They've said we did it.
Yeah, and paying a fine is just part of the penalty that they have to pay. If you've paid too much in interest, they'll have to cough up.
What about the regulators, though? I mean, it's just the regulators. I'm just saying it's outrageous that none of this was picked up, or they must have been complicit in it.
Yeah, but they presumably have shielded the Crown, so they're safe.
Yeah, but the bank share prices of those banks that have been named, including Barclays, which started it all, have more or less held up. So what's going on there?
I think people have sort of outrage fatigue.
Outrage fatigue?
Outrage fatigue.
You'd never get outrage fatigue.
No, I eat that for breakfast. But it really is. It is deeply shocking. That is such an important metric for all loans, and that people would be doctoring it is just, it's beyond belief. It really is.
So where's that going to go? I mean, because the banks are all broke already, right?
Yeah.
Because they've lent too much to Greece and Italy and everything else. And now they're doubly broke because they're going to get sued over LIBOR. I mean...
I think the reason that the market hasn't acted more vigorously in relation to all the revelations coming out is that no one can believe that they'll be allowed to go bust. So one assumes that the market's saying, well, this is so huge that if anyone actually acted in relation to this or allowed people to take action against them, the whole global financial system's going to blow up. So,
speaking of which, we had Nouriel Roubini this week come out and say that 2013 is going to be a perfect storm of various things. I mean, he got it right about the GFC. Do you think he might be right this time again? Another big bad year in 2013?
I don't know. I mean, you've got to take him seriously because he got it right once. But
I'm surprised he thinks it's going to be so far out.
Well, it'd certainly be a perfect storm if the banks all get sued and go broke. Anyway, well, we don't know about that.